We are hopeful that all taxpayers will take advantage of this new, because the more efficient you are in your business, the more efficient also LRA can be.
For the LRA, this process will make gathering of information and the collection of taxes much more efficient for the taxpayers. It will really make your life a lot easier. It's a lot.
The tax bracket that you are using, will it make provision for the non-resident also, or only for resident when it comes to wages and salaries?
Tax administration in Liberia is getting better. The provision of convenience to the taxpayer in order to pay your taxes as and when due is even improving as the LRA achieves its goal and objectives. And on the other side, where the LRA is concerned, where filing will be complete, filing will be adequate, filing will be accurate, that when you file, when there's the completion, the signature, and everything on that document will be complete. There will be check and balances on our side. When there are mistakes, our team will say, okay, there are mistakes, and the pre-filling part of the form, it just makes our work easier and puts you in a better position to file at your convenience of your offices, at the convenience of your home. So again, we are excited to welcome you to this, that we call it the second edition. The first time we were here, we launched the annual tax return e-filing. Today we are moving a step further to launch other tax steps, core tax steps. So we say we're excited, we say thank you for coming and welcome as we progress during the course of this program. Make tax administration more easier, more better, and we all make Mama Liberia a better place in which to live, like I normally say, and do business in. Thank you and welcome again.
We will now listen to Commissioner General Alfredo Stewart Tamba for a remark.
Consistent with our corporate strategic plan, goals number 2 and 4. So please join me in giving my focal team. Our aim is to facilitate voluntary compliance, and one key way to facilitate voluntary compliance is automation. The fact that you can remain at your office or home and transact, that it is known to all around the world to help facilitate voluntary compliance. We are hopeful that all taxpayers will take advantage of this new tool so that they can be more efficient, because the more efficient you are in your business, the more efficient also LRA can be. And that by so doing, it will facilitate your compliance level, and together we can build Mama Liberia. Our country cannot be built with us paying our taxes. Nowhere in the world that is happening. Our job, goal number 1, is to make sure that we administer the law fairly, transparently, and equitably. We are responsible to do that, and in this public platform, we want to admonish you to help us do that we administer our law fairly, transparently, and equitably. And the role that you can play is to make sure that you enlighten us when you see otherwise. But we have to make sure that as a country where we are responsible to pay our tax, that we do so. And that is also for individuals and businesses. So this tool, we want to commend also our partner, RG3, that has really helped us in making sure that we enhance our automation with respect to filing. So please join me also in giving our partners. So thank you for coming, and again, we can build our country, in fact, together, and we can do it by paying our taxes. So building Liberia together. Thank you.
Commissioner General Tamba, we've heard it, no nation around the world can develop without the paying of taxes. The next remark will come from our partner, the RG3, and this remark will be made by the acting chief of party, Mr. John Yates.
This is really a major and important step forward. This is a reform that is typically implemented to improve the efficiency of tax collection. One of the things that I would like to highlight is that we've had excellent cooperation from the LRA. We also are working effectively with the business community and the tax practitioners. I do want to emphasize that this has benefits for the LRA and the taxpayers. For the LRA, this process will make gathering of information and the collection of taxes much more efficient. For the taxpayers, it will really make your life a lot easier. It's a lot easier process for you to be able to comply with the law. In terms of the activities that we've been working on, this is part of an overall ecosystem. So we have been working on mobile tax payments, also direct transfers, and then now with e-filing, this really completes an ecosystem that improves the ability of taxpayers to comply with the law. I do want to emphasize that the returns were designed to support bookkeeping requirements and also facilitate the reporting requirements. I think this is a good transition into the next part of the presentation, which is the demo of the software. So thank you very much, and we very much appreciate everyone's role in the project and your cooperation. Thank you.
Of the e-filing platform, and that will be done by the manager for modernization and transformation in the domestic tax department, Mr. Ambrose Bourne.
Two means through which you can access the application. First, you can access the application from the LRA website by going to your browser and typing lra.gov.lr. So once you type in the web address and click, you are now logged onto the LRA website. On the LRA website, you go for the tab Domestic Tax. Drill into that tab, Domestic Tax, and then it takes you to e-filing. Click on e-filing, and it takes you to the link to the application. So as you can see, this is the link of the application. The whole application is still on the portal. The reason is that we want to review the new application with you before finalizing it and uploading it on the portal. So, but to see the advantage of this application, you see, the application is just 7 megabytes. So it's not really a big application that you can download onto your computer. It won't take much of a megabyte as well to download. So you download the application from here and install it on your PC. So once it is installed on your PC, another thing you should note is once you start installing it, a blue screen will appear. On that blue screen, it will ask you if you want to go ahead, just click More Info, and then you'll find a Run button, and then you run the application. So once the application is run, then it comes appears on your desktop. So once you run it, then you open the application. There you go. The application now starts to check for updates, and then it opens up on your phone. So now that the application is open onto us, the first thing we need to do is we need to enroll onto the application. You cannot submit any return on the application unless you have enrolled and been satisfied by the LRA that indeed you are the taxpayer to file or to file on behalf of that taxpayer. So on the tab menu, you go to enrollment, and then you go through enroll. Once you click the enroll, another dialog box opens up to you. So you have TIN, you have the taxpayer name, you have the taxpayer address, you have the office, county, the name of the contact person. So you have to furnish up with all of the information that are required. These are all mandatory fields. Once the information is not provided, it won't take you to the next stage of the enrollment process. So the TIN has to be 500 series, the TIN has to be 9 characters. There are other validation rules that are beyond that box. Once it's not completed in terms of the validation that running at the back end of the platform, it won't be accepted. So make sure you enter your correct TIN, the 500 series TIN, and it has the correct characters, number of characters. So you also have your telephone number, which is another essential information that we need from you. And we have also included a validation for the telephone number. So if you enter an orange number here, you must enter the same orange number into the other one. So assuming you enter 0886 000 731 and you tap to the next one, you enter 077 906 986. It gives you an error message that the information you provided is wrong. The reason being that you supply one telephone number here and you supply another telephone number. We try to make it as much as possible for you to capture your right telephone number. It's kind of like impossible for you to write your telephone number wrongly twice. So this is another validation that goes into the enrollment process. The same applies to the email. You will have to type your email and then retype the same email that you typed in the previous dialog box. Then for validation purpose at the LRA, we also want for you to tell us your previous tax return submitted. So in there, you're going to click and tell us which tax return we're going to use as a means of verification. If it's a corporate income tax, if it's corporate income tax, you tell corporate income tax and tell which year is the last year you submitted your corporate income tax. So once the year is given, assuming it's 2016, then you must tell us what you declare as net profit or loss. So the essence of this is to also look at our database and cross-reference what you have supplied to us to what we have in our system as being also provided by you to authenticate that indeed the person enrolling this taxpayer is on top of the information of the taxpayer. So if this is correct at the back end from the LRA side when we check, then it means we will go ahead and approve your enrollment process. So we also have the column 4 password. You must enter a password and also re-enter your password. But it's most likely it's also possible that you may forget your password. So if you do forget your password, we also have test questions that you answer, and then when you forget your password, you can go back and re-answer those questions, and then we will reset your password with it being sent to the email address that you provided us. So once all the information here is satisfied, then you can submit the your application. But another thing I need to inform you that this application is a text-based application. It doesn't really work wide on the internet. So once you want to get the application, you get connected to the internet, you download the application, you run the application on your desktop, and then you can go offline and work offline. But at the point of submitting your enrollment, you have to get connected and then submit it. Because if you are offline and submit, we don't have any interface with you, so we won't be able to receive the information. But once you work offline and you're about to submit, please get connected to the internet. Send us the enrollment information, and then it goes through our cloud server and comes to the LRA, and then we validate and we respond to you immediately. So that's for the enrollment process. So another thing is we are also cognizant of the fact that most of our taxpayers do have tax practitioners that file on their behalf. So you can also register as a taxpayer, register as a tax practitioner, and as a taxpayer, you can ask a tax practitioner to file on your behalf. So once you are registered, but before that process goes through, it means both the taxpayer and the tax practitioner have to be registered on the platform. So assuming there is a taxpayer and the taxpayer completes his registration, taxpayer Ambrose Bonny completes his registration, and one tax practitioner ABC to file on his behalf. Once I complete this registration, my tax practitioner ABC has also completed his enrollment. Then I then go to tax agent authorization under the scene enrollment tab. So under the scene enrollment tab, this function is me giving the authorization to my tax practitioner to file on my behalf. So in here, I'm going to enter my team, taxpayer Ambrose Bonny team. I'm going to enter my password, taxpayer Ambrose Bonny password, and then enter the team of my tax practitioner ABC. Once the information is complete here as well, then I click this button and say authorize tax agent. At any point in time where you don't want to do business with that particular tax agent, you need to come back and follow the same step. Enter your team, your password, the tax practitioner password, and then revoke tax practitioner authorization. So at the point of submitting these buttons, clicking these submission buttons, please make sure that you are connected to the internet, because that is the only means the LRA receives the information and act on it appropriately. For me to complete the entire platform and then go back and answer it. So if you have any question, we can answer while we go along. More to that, we also have the help function that will also assist you as you go along in using the platform.
The FIDED type of tax return, what is the essence of using that particular information to register? What if I'm a first-time taxpayer, I do not have any of those documents, I have not filed a return, I'm a first-time business person, how do I get along with it? Maybe this is my first year of operation 2018, maybe I start today. What am I going to put over there as my identification? Because corporate will be 0, partnership will be 0, individual, everything will be 0.
If the person filing is on top of the information for the taxpayer. Notwithstanding, we also have your email and your telephone number. So for every information you send to us, we're also going to call you and verify that. So if there is no previous filing obligation for that entity, you can leave it blank, and when we receive it as it is, we're going to call you and also ask why is it blank.
Yeah, so it's not going to stop me from going to the next step, like the wrong number posting and thing.
It's not going to stop. Once
is there an estimated time for that reply?
So hopefully it's going to be done in a 24-hour time, provided it's done before the weekend. So on Friday, you hope to receive response on Monday, or any time during the week you hope to receive response the next working day.
The communication, just to add, communication back is via email. So it's pivotal that the email that is provided is accurate for LRA to actually reach out to you and tell you that you have been enrolled. So that's the important detail.
Yeah, that's a concern. When you enroll the taxpayer, you receive a message from the LRA, but then it is not telling you which client is enrolled. Just send a default message that you receive a message that client name enrolled. Not specifying.
So the essence of this is for the taxpayer to enroll. So what he's talking about is the tax practitioner enrolling for the taxpayer. It means the tax practitioner will not be able to identify specifically which taxpayer he has enrolled is receiving the return message. But the taxpayer enrolled, if the return message comes, he knows that the return message is for him or her.
Yeah, but sometimes you will enroll maybe 20 taxpayers at a time.
Who are you? Are you a taxpayer or a tax practitioner?
The tax practitioner will get a notification of this approval because in your profile you have your email information that will also send a confirmation to you that you have been authorized for this particular taxpayer. So we're trying to make sure that the taxpayer's information is the responsibility of the taxpayer, because the taxpayer could choose to change you at some point in time tomorrow. So that authorization or that ownership of the information has to be that of the taxpayer. Even if it's delegated to you, it is still the property of the taxpayer.
Yeah.
suppose the taxpayer is illiterate and doesn't have an email address, and can also receive the notification by SMS also.
That will be a telephone number. No, the confirmation right now is by email.
At this stage.
Yes, at this stage.
Okay, when the taxpayer, the tax practitioner is recommending on behalf, suppose they are illiterate, they don't have email address, and the area in which they don't live in Monrovia, they live maybe out of town when there's no access to telecommunications.
So right now at this stage, our focus is on large taxpayers. We will also roll out to medium and small, and we know that given the challenges, we have to find other alternative medium that may not entail the internet. We will use mobile or so, but for now, the focus is on large taxpayers that we believe are in a category that they have the capability of accessing and utilizing the information yet. But we do understand that there are some taxpayers that have challenges in terms of their education or so, and we will develop products that will be skewed towards them. But at this stage, we're dealing with this platform that is dealing with the internet.
Okay.
That's why you pick the tax year and the amount. So we just want to know that the person requesting for it remembers that they file or they submit it, or that you can take PIT. Or you can even take something else that you actually paid, just to say that on this period, I paid this, and that was what the tax amount was. Yeah.
Ultimate responsibility of tax obligations rests on the taxpayer. You are just his representative. Today you are here, tomorrow he changes you. So that onus, we want to ensure that you bear that responsibility. That's why we're saying the taxpayer should put his telephone number and his email addresses. Those are some of the challenges we're currently encountering. People that were advising taxpayers before, when you go to call them, they tell you, no, I'm no longer in the employ of this particular taxpayer. Then the tax authority does not have the means to contact you directly because his telephone, the taxpayer telephone number is not with the tax authority. So that's why we are saying that responsibility is ultimately on the taxpayer.
And we're asking you, as tax practitioners, to join us in this effort so that we clean our data, because the data must reflect the actual taxpayer. And so when the taxpayer tells you to use your number, use your email, that is against the law. But of course, in the past, our people didn't know. So it's part of the education and the sensitization, so that they become aware that it is their information that we need. Because as an agent and also a taxpayer, you have your own information in the system. So we can have the same information for John or for Orlando as the same information, for somebody else.
If I try to go through the enrollment process and I have a kind of active internet, and after I went through the process, I filled all the fields, my internet maybe have a problem. Is it possible for me to save all the information on my desktop?
So what I said, at the point of downloading the application in the internet, once you download the application, you don't need internet. You can now run the application and install it on your PC. You can work offline. You don't have issue. But when you are about to submit the enrollment, then you need to get connected. It will take about less than 5 minutes of internet time.
Maybe even less. We're talking about split second. As long as you are connected and you have a strong connection, 30 seconds for you to upload and receive signal back.
I think the question is about, assuming you started logging in and then something else interrupted. Is there a way you can save the initial information that you have put in and then come back and start again from where you...
It's like a normal Word document, right? When you are working and you save the Word document, it's saved.
Okay.
If you don't save it and your computer goes off, if you don't have auto-save for the machine, then it takes it out of the machine. So just normally save it.
So you go to File, you go to New. Once you click on New, you will see all filing obligations. You have annual CIT, you have GSC. The first form should be launched. And now we have added 3 also. We have the monthly withholdings, we have the excise, as well as the quarterly income tax payment. So we will go through them step by step. are being faced because the information here is not being inputted directly. The information on this main form feeds from the schedules. So you see, this is the mean, and this is the form that you have to first pay attention to in terms of entering the biodata information and other information that is required at the heading. Because the information in here feeds into the calculations of all the schedules that I listed. So what is required first is the team. You import the team, and the team also have some background and validation running. So make sure the team is a 500 series. Make sure the team has 9 characters. So another thing is you have to enter the tax period for which you are filing. You have to also enter these biodata information. Also, you have to supply the exchange rate, because the exchange rate is also used in the calculations in the schedules. So once the exchange rate is not imported here, so every day also we supply the rate on the LRA website. So if you find it difficult getting the rate, you can log on to the LRA website and you will have them. As Umar said, you put in the TIN, the biodata information pops up, you put in the currency, and then you put in the exchange rate, then you move to the schedules. So you will ignore this at this point in time and move to the schedules. So what are the schedules? The first schedule is the salary. Withholding on salaries and wages is the first schedule. So you see we have this table. You can input the information in this table. So the table is not just one field. Assuming I enter my team by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Assuming this is my team, this is my name. This is my position. And this is my salary. Yeah. Assuming I have cash benefit, I think we all know what cash benefits are. So assuming I have cash benefit of 5,000, I do put the cash benefit. Assuming also I have non-cash benefit like scratch card, like and how you call it, vehicle, like fuel. Assuming it's 2,500. Then automatically it should calculate the tax. But from here we are seeing that this is not calculating the tax, so it means that you have some error from the front page. So let's see what the error is. It's because I didn't supply the exchange rate, so the form didn't calculate the tax. So just please, just look at it. See this, the exchange rate is blank. So my tax calculation is also blank because I didn't the exchange rate.
Excuse me, you selected US dollar?
I agree.
Exchange rate.
Even though it's US dollar, but it's also running on the exchange rate.
You paying the tax in like $1 or US dollar? So you selected
regardless
US dollar already.
So we have functions running at the back end of this thing.
The tax table is calculated on the denominator in like that. So normally you got a salary in like in US dollar, the conversion takes place and then converted back to US dollar because. But the table itself is being configured in US dollar as the code. So that's why the back end is being configured also in US dollar and then it's converted back.
So once I complete the first line and tab, it creates another line for me to also input another figure.
So now $15,000 is what kind of currency?
So the $14,000 is US dollar. I'm filing in US dollar. So the $14,000 is like the US dollar. So another thing is we know most entities do have applications where they do their financial report as well as their payroll. So we kind of like make this Excel friendly because it is burdensome to have, assuming you have 500 employees and then enter each of them manually into this table. The same likelihood of error we're trying to omit might resurface. So we also include a function wherein you have to create your table, and your table have to be in the same format of this table. You have to replicate this table into an Excel file, import the information in that Excel file, and then you can import the information from Excel to the table. So it means you can export the information from whatever software, accounting software, which I know it is possible, to Excel, and then format it to meet this criteria, and then import it into this application. So then it calculates everything and makes your work also easier.
Well, in terms of the exchanges, I don't know whether the system you can design it in a way that you have to get the exchanges, because exchange rates have been a problem. So if people are using different exchange rates, as they rightly said, so people don't have access to the internet. So they just look at what is in the market, they use it. They don't have access to go to central bank website. And then even LRA website, sometimes they don't synchronize what is in central bank website. They don't do it, or they don't update it regularly. There are some delays in it. Because from what I understand, you're using what central bank, you work with central bank. So sometimes if you go to central bank and check what you have, you find out that there is a delay. So if you don't go to central bank, there's a problem. So in order for you to make it properly, there is a need for you to make sure that the system produces its own rates. I don't know how you're going to do that. Maybe you have your system person here. To take confusion, because if everybody using their rates, and then you're saying that they're supposed to import. Now the person already have the software have its own rates, and most organizations use their monthly rates. So how are you going to do it in terms of conflict? That's what I'm looking at. And then again, the file size. What's the size? Do you have any limitation to size in terms of import when you upload your files? No. It's open. Okay.
I think the law is clear in terms of that the exchange rate as published by the central bank. However, for tax purposes, the LRA also does publish the rate that is used for the transaction and on the date of the transaction, as the law says. If you have an assessment in US and you want to pay, in Liberian dollar, you will pay at the conversion rate on that day. So that's the reason why he's saying that as you do your submission, the rates are published and it's on the website, even though of course the challenge of the internet was mentioned, but the rate to put there will be the rate that will be obtaining on that day the submission is being made.
I have a quick question. Maybe two questions. One, for practitioners that use a different platform, is there any integration functionality? First question. The second question is, obviously it's online, and you talk about being downloading and working offline, but is there an override function or backup mechanism, assuming you cannot, upload, or if there's issues in terms of uploading, or assuming it's not calculated properly? Is there any backup or override functionality?
The platform works in a way that you can save the information as you go along. So assuming I'm working, importing the employee's information, and I'm being called to do something else, I can go to return, save, and then it's saved on the platform until I can come back and resume work. I can also save it into a different document and save it outside of the platform. So yes,
to the best of our knowledge, the functionalities and everything in there are, I would say, about 100% correct. However, there will always be improvement and enhancement that will happen. So every time you open the file, even though first time you can work with this offline. So you want to go online to download for the first time and to do your submission. So if you went and you're trying to open it, the first thing it will try to do if you're on the internet is to find out whether there was any version more recent than the version you're working in, and it will automatically update it to that version. So that is built within the platform, the way the platform is made, such that you're working on the most recent version. But if there are errors, you can register it, you can communicate that to the authority for us to be able to look into it. But for the platform as is right now, like you see him working on, this is an offline function that he's working on. So once the functionality are in there, or we don't believe that it will have, well, of course it's IT, so there will always be room for or error. And where we do have the situation of it being in a mode that is, have a problem, we'll just advise that it is registered with the authorities so that the necessary or upgrade or so can be done on it, but we don't believe that, or given as it is right now, we will have a time lag in being able to utilize it.
Like, just to add to what the commissioner said, the help function is key in this process, especially since this is a new product. It actually has detailed explanations of what specific fields and how they should be filled out. So once you download, we highly recommend that you actually go visit that section for the specific forms. And the way they're organized, if you can open, can you open please, just to show to the help instructions. So once you go in there, you will see that it actually has instructions for each specific function, enrollment, returns processing, and these will be updated for the remaining the forms that have been added. So they will actually go into the detail explaining what needs to be entered. And of course, if something is omitted, like Deputy Commissioner said, we're happy to receive your feedback to be able to actually address that issue.
The system is always down, and the system continuing to calculate penalty and interest against the taxpayer. So now 4 or 5 days, and we are ready to pay, but when you come at the bank, the system is down. The system is down. And then the system, when it comes on, it calculates penalty and interest for the fault of the bank or the institution. I don't know why.
That this platform don't work with the system while you entering. So as you can see, I'm currently working, but if you look down here, I don't have any network. So you don't have any challenge in submitting the platform, and then it comes back with system down. So on this platform, we can show you.
May I try to answer, sir? I think what you're referring to is the actual validation of the time when you submitted that return using this platform. As soon as you actually submit successfully through the platform, you will immediately get a notification and a copy of the return that you've completed with a timestamp. It will actually tell you, I don't think Ambrose has one, but it will tell you what time you have actually submitted that return. So that effectively becomes an evidence for you, which LRA also receives. The return will have in the bottom a detail saying that you've submitted on June 29th at such time, which basically effectively means that you've complied and you've submitted before the deadline. And it will serve as basis for LRA to internally keep in the records. So there won't be penalties, bottom line.
And then also for those that are already using the direct transfer system, once your payment hit that direct transfer account before the due date, even if you receive your receipts or confirmation of payment from LRA, subsequently, those who are using that platform do see that they're not charged penalty and interest because the system recognizes the date the money hit, and now when we process in our system. And that's why we introduced the multiple medium of ensuring that you don't have to panic when it comes to due date if there's any challenge with the system, because once it hits the bank or it hits this system, you've met your filing and your payment requirement, and there will be no penalty attributed to your return.
He is complaining really that he can't seem to make a payment and the system is down. So he leaves, and then maybe that is the due date. So tomorrow, the system starts to calculate the penalty. So that isn't only for the filing, it is for regular transactions. So I want us to take note of that and see how we can address that. Because where the system is down, let's say for 2 days or more, then and the penalty accrue for those days, and if it can be proven that the system indeed was down, then the measures that we should be able to take, because in that case the penalty is a result of our fault.
All of those who had the returns, we took it from them and register it, because you don't want the other people who did not come in at all to then benefit from someone who actually came in and got impacted by it. So one of the things we do, especially on a due date, is we take custody of those returns that have come and let them know that this is the evidence that we have received it, and when it's processed, it will not be counted against them. So we just probably need to be more your return. Once you use this and submit it, you've met your filing requirement on or before the due date, and you will not have that situation. So you're no longer relying whether LRA system is up or down, because once you have internet and you have this on your platform and can submit it, you've met the requirement.
Yeah, but I think the point he's making is payment. Yes.
Payment is a direct transfer.
Yeah.
So the payments are separate and direct transfer. Those are direct transfer because you may be filing for a small or medium, because as at now all large taxpayers should be using only the direct transfer. So if you're using you come into the window, we are also advising that direct transfer is also available. It will now have mobile money to also provide your payment. So you have other medium other than coming into LRA office to make payment that will still satisfy your payment requirement.
If I download this fee on my computer and be using it there and upgrade it, how am I going to know that there's new to do added to it?
So each time you launch the application goes online and check the link if there is an update on the application. If there is an update on the application, it automatically update the platform.
Is it not that a non-resident legal person is a flat rate of 15%? So when you do your your return and the tax bracket that you are using, will it make provision for the non-resident also or only for resident when it comes to wages and salaries on withholding?
The PIT table is only for services other than employment that you will come under the non-resident.
So the same processes and procedures also follow for the exact form. And finally, the CIT form. We supply the biodata information and then put in the turnover, it calculate the tax, and then we submit. We also need to specify the year for which we are submitting, which is the tax period, and which quarter we are also submitting from, and submit it to the LRA. I think that does it for the platform. And any question or inquiries you may have, you can contact me or contact the Commissioner for Domestic Taxes, and then we will go through any stuff.
The LRA will be formally launching the e-platform on the Taxpayer Appreciation Day on the 22nd of July. The President himself will be at the occasion, at which time this platform and other things that the LRA has been doing will be formally launched. So we are doing the enrollment, like Ambrose was saying. We are going to your offices to ensure that you get enrolled on the platform. So that's why we're saying that please make your email addresses and your telephone numbers rather illegible as possible, because we want to contact you. So the team along with RG3, our partners, will be going to your offices. The taxpayers are fully registered, and you can ask them all of the questions that you still have. You can ask them there, and they can still train you through some of the processes that Ambrose was demonstrating here. We also agree in our meeting that those who will enroll and start to use the system before the 22nd will be specially recognized by the President on that day. So we have our due dates of the 10th for all of our withholding taxes, on the 15th for our turnover taxes, on the 21st for GST and excise. Some people can pay the GST and excise long before the 21st. So please take advantage of the fact that you will be specially recognized by the President if you use the platform, one, getting enrolled, two, by filing all the withholding taxes on before the 10th, and the turnover taxes by the 15th. We have said that the President will want the President to specially recognize all those individuals that will use the platform on or before the 22nd. So please take advantage, and please call our staff that will be at your doorsteps beginning next Monday. All of the courtesy. Right? Thank you.
We will be working with the LRA team to help with the enrollment and subsequently with the filing of the returns. So we will be reaching out to you. So that's why, like Commissioner Tallery said, it's important that you leave us the contact details. If you haven't done so, please leave the details so we can reach out to you, explain what has been explained today in a greater depth, because I'm sure once you play around with it, you will have more questions. And we're here to actually facilitate that process, explain how it needs to be done. Like it was mentioned, the goal is to actually use this opportunity between now and July 22nd to enroll as many taxpayers as possible. And of course, the focus is the large taxpayers. Ideally, we want to actually capture all of them as defined by the domestic tax section of the LRA. So if you have clients that fit that category, we definitely want to target them, but it doesn't exclude other ones that want to be part of this initial launch. So please help us in this process to make sure that everybody wins. And of course, there will be questions. Like anything, this is a new product. We invite you to reach out to us, read the help function, which has a lot of explanations, and if it's not clear, please reach out to us. We're happy to explain, go, and we might potentially do even a few more of these clinics, what we call tax clinics, where maybe we can get together and just try to do some test cases to understand how it works and how it actually fits your interest in this regard. So, just wanted to add that part. Thank you.
This has been a great exercise, but let me invite the Deputy Commissioner General for Technical Affairs, Deputy T. King Saki, to give our vote of thanks.
Commissioner General and the LRA team would like to say thank you to all of you for just taking time off your very, very busy schedule to have come and seen this demonstration. We are striving to improve the tax-paying climate in Liberia, and we believe that through a concerted effort and a partnership with you all, we can achieve that. So we hope that as we have now introduced or soft launched this tool, that you will take advantage of it, because we know how challenging it can be at times trying to engage the LRA amidst trying to also service your client within a specified time frame. So we are doing all we can to make the process faster, easier, and more convenient for you. And we only admonish that you please utilize the platform and reach out to us, because we know in introduction of any new technology, there may be some glitches. But we want to work together to make sure that whatever challenges or trials that we may put up with, we'll be able to work together to resolve it, so that at the end of the day, engaging LRA is much easier for you, and also we can engage you in a more, holistic manner. So again, on behalf of the team, we would like to say thank you to all of you for coming, and to the RG3 family. We'd like to say thank you for this project and for the development work that has gone into it. And we look forward to the team, because again, there's still more work that has to be done to the team, especially Ambrose, Tallery, and the rest of the domestic tax team that has to continue working with you all, that we can ensure that once this is officially launched, we will have people utilizing this platform and engaging LRA in a more in an easier manner. So coming to our invitation today.
Once more, my name is D. Kabine Singh, Manager for Communication. I have been your MC, and this is how we bring this engagement to a close. Thank you so much.
Legitimate international trade across the border.